Hello everybody, I am the Friendly Englishman. Thank you for joining me here at my small channel. This is part 1 of my lore series on the Lizardmen in Warhammer Fantasy. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so, and also helping me out by clicking the like button. Right guys, let's dive on in. Before elves, before dwarves, before men, the Old Ones arrived upon this world. Then came chaos, and the great plan of the Old Ones was unmade. We are the last of their servants, and only by our hand shall the great plan be restored, and with the total defeat of the usurping younger races. That is an inscription upon the eastern boundary stone of the temple city of Hexawatl. The Lizardmen, sometimes known as the Cold Ones or the Children of the Gods, are an ancient, savage, and highly intelligent race of cold-blooded reptilian humanoids that are the first and oldest civilization of the known world. Long before the rise of men, elves, or dwarves, the empire of the Lizardmen ruled supreme. Alien, enigmatic, and without mercy, the Lizardmen were there when it all began, and will be there when the mortal world draws its last dying breath. They will never relent until order is finally restored to this uncaring, chaotic world. Such is what they were made to do, for they are the ancient servants and first creations of the Old Ones, the one true protectors and shapers of the known world. Once, in a long and forgotten age, the Lizardmen ruled over it all, dominating the ancient known world during an age of primeval monsters. Although their realm is now partly in ruins and overgrown, they seek once more to rise up and reclaim that which they lost many millennia ago. Once, in a long and forgotten age, the Lizardmen ruled over it all, dominating the ancient known world during an age of primeval monsters. Although their realm is now partly in ruins and overgrown, they seek once more to rise up and reclaim that which they lost many millennia ago. While the task at hand remains near impossible, the empire of the Lizardmen still fights on, unleashing their cold-blooded savagery upon any who would stand in the way of their sacred mission to serve the original designs, the great plans of the Old Ones. From the lush jungles of Lustria and the Southlands they come, beneath totems of gold. The Lizardmen march to war, the ground trembling from the approach of their large and mighty reptilian armies. They go to battle for reasons indecipherable to others, an ancient plan known only to themselves. None can ever understand their motives nor their ceaseless drive, for none truly understand that they are the rightful inheritors of the mortal world. It is their sacred, if inscrutable, duty to restore order across the planet. If this means the wholesale eradication of the lesser upstart mortal races outside of the Old One's great plan, then the Lizardman Empire shall enact this world-spanning genocide once more. There is wisdom and there is ignorance, and in between are the gateways to eternity through which the Old Ones so long ago passed. That's a little snippet from an archival transcript, the words of a Lizardman Lord. Utterly enigmatic, the Lizardmen have been stranded by their creators, the Old Ones, left to contemplate a world irrevocably changed. Over the millennia, the Lizardmen have sought after the clear guidance once supplied by their almighty creators. Against the growing threat of an age-old enemy, the Lizardmen have slowly come to the realization that there is no gain in lamenting a bygone age, and that the time to enact the great plan is upon them. From temple, cities, and ancient ruins they issue forth, emerging out of the jungle to coldly implement their vision upon the world. The dawn of creation. This is from the year 10,000 to 5,600 pre-imperial calendar. The origin of the Lizardmen is a tale that goes back to a primeval era when the world was dark and largely encased by thick sheets of ice. Long before chaos came to the world, in a time before elves, dwarves or men, the land was ruled by titanic reptilian monsters. These enormous creatures battled for dominance and the warmest regions, those nearest the equatorial band of the world. These areas became highly contested. Some of these life forms were unthinking creatures of pure instinct. Others were established civilizations that rose and fell in that forgotten age. Of that time of eternal twilight there is little knowledge, although buried ruins and descendant creatures still remain. Into this brutal age came a mysterious race of godlike beings that plied the heavens in silvered ships. These strangers, known as the Old Ones, came from beyond the stars where they ruled, in an empire that spanned not just the cosmos but time itself. Their technology was advanced beyond imagination. To them, astrology and astronomy, science and magic were all one and the same. Each world in the Old One's empire was linked by a gateway. Some were small portals, allowing an individual to travel inconceivable distances with but a single step. Others, however, often situated in the cold void of space, were portals so large that vessels the size of moons could pass through. In their travels across the endless expanse of the universe, one planet caught their eye, for they saw in it a unique and boundless potential. The Old Ones decreed that this world would have a central place in their unknowable plans, and stellar gates at either pole were created to allow easy access to this hopeful new colony. Before the designs for their newest planets could be fully set in motion, the Old Ones had to reshape it better to fit their needs. Using powers beyond mortal comprehension, they shifted the planet's orbit towards the warming sun. In time, the ice sheets retreated, verdant forests soon growing to cover over the newly revealed land. The children of the gods. The Old Ones created servants to tend to their needs. Thus was the first spawning of the Slan mage priests begun. They were the Grand Viziers, trusted creatures of prodigious intellect, and the only beings able to withstand direct contact with the near omnipotent Old Ones and comprehend their teachings. It was the Slan who were to guide the lesser intelligent races whose creation would soon follow. For upon the world, the Old Ones had encountered many primitive creatures, including those that would one day be transformed into the first elves, dwarves, and men. Powerful and far-sighted, the Old Ones could shape new life forms even from these imperfect materials. They did encounter some creatures whose existence was incompatible with their future plans. As the climate warmed, the Saurus were created to destroy these anomalies, and soon vast armies marched to war. A fight to eradicate those native races that needed to be removed. The Old Ones frequently used the polar gateways to travel the cosmos, but in the meantime they created further spawnings of Slan to execute their plans. While the Saurus brought order to the world with their brutal campaigns of destruction, greater projects were undertaken. By command of the Old Ones, the Slan established the rainforest temple cities in the region of the world that would one day become Lustria. The Skinks were the technicians and the overseers, It was their role to direct the beasts of burden to haul and heft the heavy loads. In this manner, the Lizardmen built fabulous structures that rose high above the steaming jungles. The Old One's instructions to the Slann were very specific as to the locations where the temple cities and the many other architectural wonders were constructed across the globe. Each one was raised up purposely to form a vital nexus in a world-spanning geomantic web, an interlinked matrix of natural earth energy that encompassed the planet. Each site was linked to the next one, and the Old Ones were able to draw upon this vast reservoir of energy to manipulate untold devices and enchantments of great power. The Slann mage priests were also able to tap into the geomantic web, and with its energies they could shift continents and further aid the unknowable plans of the Old Ones. The Great Catastrophe, the year 5600 to 4420 pre-Imperial calendar. All was not well with the world, however. Distressing signs began to manifest outside the gateways of the planet's poles. They were but portals to another dimension, and it was from there that trouble arose. In the swirling madness of that otherworldly realm, nascent beings stirred, malign intelligences that resented the Old One's trespasses. That is, of course, the start of chaos interacting with the Old Ones and the Lizardmen for the first time. I have talked about that briefly in another video, and I will return to finish and flesh out the Lizardman lore further in later videos. I love the Lizardmen. I think they are an amazing faction. Always like them. Hope you enjoyed that video. It'd be great to hear from you in the comments below. Take care. Goodbye.